So starting Gimel Amud Beis, the Gemara is saying that you should use short speech and you should talk nicely. Don't use horrible lashon. So Ubarais in the Torah does not say tame. So we're saying the ki enu tahira. It's not tahor. But so if you're supposed to say enu tahor or not tame, so then the Torah says tame. And the kol hekat, so the rule is the hadrinin, when they're the same amount of words or same amount of letters, mishtoi beloshin nikia, then you should use nice language. Kol hekat the nafshin mili, when it's the lots of letters or words, mishtoi beloshin katsara, therefore you use the kotzer. Kadamar Rav Huna amarav amarlar amarav Huna amarav mishum Rebbe Meir la'olam yeshna adam netamido derech katsara. Can hear, so this is a fairly famous. Rebbe Meir says le'olam always yishna teach man to his Talmud the derech katsara. Now one of the reasons why you need to teach the derech katsara is that when you don't say much, then it's harder to distort your words when there's not much words there. And when you have the derech katsara, like there's everything in there. Obviously, if you're unclear, you don't say much, so therefore you can say he's kind of saying whatever you want him to say. But when you keep it short, you'll have the Mishnah keeps it short. The Mishnah is a derech katsara, and you can have pages and pages of Gemara just trying to explain one line of the Mishnah. So the derech katsara has everything in it, and it's like closer to the emes because it hasn't extended itself and brought in. Also, you have the seed when the seed in the, let's say in the zera, everything of the child is there. When the child is in the mother's womb, it's developing. So it's like the derech katsara. And then when the baby comes out of the womb and then starts to expand himself, so then you have what's called pesoilus. He needs to peep and poo while he's outside of the womb, but when he's inside the womb, he doesn't. So as he starts off with these, so when you have that zera and you have everything that's in there, that's the derech katsara. And then there's no pesoilus when you have the derech katsara. And when you or go beyond the derech katsara, so therefore you have tons of pesoilus. So therefore, even though you can do far more when you're out of the womb, there's a lot of pesoilus there, and you're constantly going through a load of rubbish. Is it true that every time that they are the same, that then we use lashon kavod? It says rochevet v'yosheves, and they're the same, and we said by rocheves, and we say rocheves. So for a woman to be rocheves, she has to spread her legs over the cow or over the donkey or over the camel or the horse. So we don't use, so it's not covered to say by a woman that she is rokevet. And in fact, early in the Gemara, they're basically saying that women don't roichev because they don't, they sit with their legs on both legs on the same side of the animal. There's a bit of a din in the Gemara there, but we still say rokevet even though it's the same. So Yoshevet is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Rokevet is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the same, but yet we still say Rokevet when we should have said Yoshevet. So Rokevet kativ. So Rokevet without the vav is written, and obviously he'll just say so write the Yoshevet without a vav. So Tosfos ve'im tema lechtov nami Yoshevet without the vav. V'amirid lo matzi. You can't say Yoshevet because everywhere it says Yoshev without a vav, it needs a drasha. As we say, and lot Yoshev Bashar. So that Yoshev Bashar is lacking the vav, and we make a drasha out of it. Oita yom that he put him as a shayfet. So that Yoshev is chaser. So you can't write Yoshev without a vav without being chaser. There were those two Talmidim, and they were sitting before Rav. One said, "Shavisin hayshmaisa kadavar acher maskinen." So one said, so they've had this shear, and one guy said that shear has made us like a davar acher. So maskinen is like has exhausted us. So now davar acher is a pig. So he's made us tired as a pig. This v'chad amar shavisan hai shmaisa kegedi maskinen. That this teaching has made us tired as a gedi, is what a baby calf of a sheep or a goat. V'lo ishtay Rav bahadi dehach deheich. And so Rav wouldn't speak to the other guy. So the guy who said davar acher, then Rav wouldn't speak to him. But there is a girsa that says he wouldn't speak to him for 30 days. Now, first thing to point out here is that he didn't even say pig. He said davar acher. And davar acher is already like a lashon noki for pig. He didn't say pig. He said something else. Davar acher can also mean can mean different things in different contexts. So there, he's kind of gone out of his way to say it not in like a nicer way, and still like he's getting into trouble for it. So here the Chasam Sofer, both of them were actually saying the same thing. When they know Masha calls of Elo Divrei Elokim Chaim. Everyone's saying the same thing. It's all echod. And Ein v'chol a Torah davar acher levatala. There's nothing in the Torah that's levatala. And lo yuvol and umash nira ata neged asfara b'komakom yei emes b'makam echer. So when you have something now, you look at Torah, and something in Torah, it looks like it's against the svara. But in another place, it's emes b'makam acher. There's somewhere else where it'll fit. It's emes. Even though here it doesn't fit, or it doesn't look like it fits, somewhere else it fits properly. But gal acher, and also different gilgul. And each one according to his own das is saying, I'm Mizev and Bir Seifes Yeroyim Devash. So he's made us tired like a davar echer. So what's the pig? Is chazir. Why is the pig called chazir? Because it's going to be, in the future, it will be matir. So the pig, again, is kosher on the outside and treif on the inside. It's the only animal that's kosher on the outside and treif on the inside. So you'll have a chazara. You'll see in the future that even your deeds that were kosher on the outside are also have a value. They're kosher. You don't say they're treif just because you did them on the outside. The chazir miyar ba'ain, and you need the that it will return in the future. The chazir mior be'elef v'chol b'yeshiv tameh b'yam tahor. So I think the pasuk to say that it's going to return. Al korcha amar shenase ayef v'yegia miha pilpul, and that we said that. So the point of what he's saying is that we are tired from the pilpul to be magia ala emes. So it's taken the time to begin on emes. Again, back in the Gemara, why do we need both of them? This guy said like a pig, and this guy said like a gedi. So just have it like a gedi, and you'll say, well, the first guy, maybe he didn't speak to him because it seems like he's just degenerating Torah, and just saying, oh, Torah's I'm just so tired, like this Torah is so boring. So when you have the two of them, and you see the only real difference is the gedi versus the davar echer, that they're not saying, the reason he's not talking to him is not because he's degenerating Torah, but that there's something else. So he's saying that we are getting tired from the pilpul legia la'emes, and it's only the davar echer, because also the pesoiles that come out are emes. So he's saying that it's made us tired, like that even though I didn't come out with the right pshat in this sugya, because I'm going through the sugya and going through and through, and I don't have it, but it's like a pig, because in the pig it'll be kosher, and therefore all the effort I'm putting into the Torah right now will be kosher in the future. So therefore I'm tired now from all this effort, even though I didn't get pshat, it will all come good in the future. Ve'enu levatela. And the other one shows the lashon. Because the chazer, see that makom chazer is mius. So the chazer, the taka, the davar or the pig is the lashon of mius, and therefore he said b'shem gedi, and basically he's saying the gedi is the same thing. Miram is nami al hamazol hanikra gad gedi shehepech umalgal tamid. So this gadu gedi mazul is this thing that's flipping around. So he's saying it's basically the same idea. They're both saying the same thing, but because the chazir is a davar mius, and therefore he chose the lashon gedi to say the same thing. That's where you pick up that it's that it was a lashon genai. So hanhu trei talmidei dahavi yasav kamei dehilo.
So they were both, they were sitting before Hillel. Echad menahu Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. And some say they were standing in front of Rebbe, and one of them was Rebbe Yochanan. So obviously they were different generations. So Rebbe Yochanan was the generation after Rebbe, and Rebbe Yochanan ben Zakkai was the Talmud of Hillel. Echad Omar mipnei ma boitzrin b'tahira. Why do we harvest grapes in tahor? Ve'ein moiskin b'tahira. The olive harvest. We don't do the olive harvest in tahora. Echad Omar mipnei ma boitzrin b'tahira umaskin and betuma. So again, the masak will be the olive harvest, and the olive harvest, the oil is different to the juice that's coming out of the grapes, so you can do it and not in tahora. Now here we have a question here. So Amar muftachani bezeh. I am sure in this one that Shoimro Hayra b'Yisrael v'lo haya that he will be teaching in Israel. V'lo haya yamim me'otim ad shahayra hayra b'Yisrael. And it wasn't long before he was teaching in Israel. So one of them then became this big Rav. So there's which one has become the big Rav? So on the first reading, seemingly you got the good guy. Judaism is all about the good guy and the bad guy. And you have the good guy, and he says, Boishim b'tahara ve'ein moiskim b'tahara. He said tahara twice, wonderful, and this guy used the word tuma, and therefore he's the bad guy. That's the pashtus. So that's the question on this. When you add up, so tahara is 1, 2, 3, 4. Tuma is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tuma is longer. But you also have to add in this word, ein. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is longer than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Without the bet. So here the second Talmud is taka the kotzer, and we saw above that you should say when you are in a lashon of kotzer, and therefore he should be. Now one teretz is that yeshna adam letalmido. That it's only that this lashon derech katsara is only if you're teaching your student, and here these are the two talmidim, and the talmidim were not teaching their students, and therefore it doesn't come out as this whole din doesn't apply. And also it doesn't work in the katsara because here ma boitrim b'tahara ve'ein moiskin b'tahara, but one says here umoiskin b'tuma. It's mashma from a moiskin betuma that you have to be moiskin betuma, which isn't true. So the lashon here in Ketzara is misleading. So therefore, there's no bonus of Ketzara here. The chayir lashon Ketzer is adif. So we said it's adif. Even meguna, even if the lashon is meguna, adif is still better than arach v'naki, than long and clean. But kasha lefizeh kevin the lashon Ketzer filim maguna adif kol hani to akim lamali. Why are we going around? To lo havi leila akim elachad kro. We only need to have one pasuk to teach us where they are the same. You go on it, and if I have to say the first lashon Ketzer u maguna v'lashon arach v'naki shavim. It's the same. So this lashon Ketzer u maguna is equal to arach v'naki. The kevin, the shavim, you have to say, hey, it's better to have naki. And now it's nicha, all these pesukim of tame, because there's kotzer behem. So whenever it says tame, that's good because we're kotzering the language, and that's good. But kamakroi, there are that the alchem is to bend itself and use all these extra words. The arach behem, and they have this into shavim hem, arach b'lashon naki, or kotzer. The command by the chadomer ein boitshim b'tar, the moiskin betuma. The amar muftachani bezesh shomer horor. The Ran says that al zesh amar moiskin betuma should kitzer b'lashoinai amar kain. So the Ran is taka holding that it's the second guy. It's a guy who was makatzer his lashon. He was the one that was the hero of the story and became the hira of a perish acher v'ayin sham shehu nira dachuk. ולפי דרכנו ששניהם שווים להערך בלי נקים לקוצר בלשון גנאי יש לפרש. דעל השני אמר כן. So this is the second guy. שראה בו דבר חוכמה. He saw something chachma in him. Kashahi tamrinan mibrachat shel adam nicker shetama chacham hoof. So from the bracha you can see that he's a tamach chacham because the rishon was after shalon is kavan ledavar b'loshanaki ele shekach nizdamin lo befiv beli kavana. Says the first guy didn't really think about his words; it just came out like that. But the second one that he heard it from the first guy. So you have the two guys sitting there. The first guy said it, and the second guy didn't just repeat the first guy. V'shniya loymar b'loshan kotzer. And then he still had the Lashon Kotzer, even though he heard the first guy given the Lashon Naki and Aruch. V'adayin iskaven lakach. Therefore, for sure, he had the Kavon. It wasn't just something. He wasn't just repeating the guy beside him. Because why would you just repeat the guy the same? Because the Rif says maybe he didn't have the Kavona for that. But the Sheni that he heard from the first guy and the second guy to say Lashon Naki v'adayin iskaven lakach to say the Chedusha. So he's giving the chiddush to yesh la'adam loimer b'loshen naki. So he is because there's a machlokes in the Gemara which guy was the guy who was the hero. Here's the first one or the second one, and since the first one said in the lashon naki and the second one said it in lashon kotzer, then it's to teach that it's better to be in a kotzer. Even though Naki va'aruch and Kotzer and Naguna are the same, that's he's flipping it up to show that it's not Naki va'Kotzer is always the way to go. Hanhu telas kahani. There were those three kohens. One said to them higieni koifel, so that they are giving out the lechem upon him, and the lechem upon him he says I received kapul as much as a bean, which is the smallest amount. Chadamar hagieni kazayas. I got a kazayas. V'chadamar hagienu kazanav halat'a. That I received as much as a tail of a lizard. So when you give out the lechem upon him, everyone gets the same amount. So this question here is everyone gets kazayas, b'kitzer. So how could they all have different amounts? So one shot is that the three Kohanim are just meeting up after a few weeks, and they're all in different mishmars. In the mishmar, however big the lechem upon him is, however many people in that mishmar are there, so you divide it up equally. So if you have 100 people in the mishmar, you'll have 100 pieces, equal pieces. If you have 20 in the mishmar, you'll have 20 equal pieces. So the first guy was in a bigger mishmar, and the second guy was in a smaller mishmar. Or there's a level of satiety that when you had when Shimon HaTzadik was the Kohen Gadol there, then the Kazayas even less than the Kazayas would satiate somebody. They're completely stuffed after eating a tiny bit of lechem upon him, and then so either here I got this much and was satiated, or this guy got a Kazayas till I was satiated, or it was after Shimon HaTzadik and still he's eating the pole and he was satiated, but he needed a Kazayas to be satiated. All these different peshatim. But anyway, this third guy says Kazanav Hatalah, so he's talking in Loshem. That's not nice. Bodku Acharavu Matsu Bo Shemetz Posel. So they checked him and they saw that he had a Shemetz Posel. So Shemetz Posel is usually on the Yichus. So he had some problem with his Yichus. So then they checked him and he saw that he wasn't roy to be a Kohen. Vaha Tanan Ein Boidkin Min Mizbech V'Lamala. So once you're already doing avoida, then you don't check the Kohen for his Yichus. So once he's already doing Avodas Kohen, then how can you check him and then posel his Yichus? So it says Lo Tema Shemes Posel Ele Ema Shachatz Posel. So Hu Atzma Haya Gas Ruach. So Shachatz is like it's a posel in the Hanocha of the Kohen himself. So if a Kohen is he rebels against the avoida of the kahuna of the korban, so then he's posel from avoda. So if he's koifer in avoda, he's posel. So you have it's the gas ruach of the kohen. So they looked into him from what he was saying, and they saw elsewhere that he was koifer koifer avoda in another thing. there's difference. There's the big question of what's going on here. Where Rashi says the gas ruach. So you had the gaiva and the avoida hamasira lebnei Aaron Cohen ein moide bekulan. It has to be moide bekulan af b'maguna shebehen ein lo chilek b'kahuna. So if he's magana in the avoida, therefore he doesn't get to go on the. He doesn't do the. He doesn't get to do the voda iboy saying shiny has him to ihu ta'arei nafshe. So there, since he said this, it's nothing to do with shacha, it's possible, but no taka. They did a bedika. They did a bedika because he brought it on himself. So the Chazon Sofer, again has a he has higinin kapol chayro. It's nearer the sheva b'sheva. It all had the same kohanim. They all did in the mikdash. El nir elisha kohen hagio kapol. He got a very small bit. And he said to him that the chelak katan in his eyes was nechshav kazayas. The third one was mavaza and says that in my eyes it was bezoyan, a kalima, to have this ovidavra mu'ad kazeh. So it was like a bezoyan to him that he got this al korcha kro zanav as. Kamo, why do you call it a zanav? Be the rosh and not a zanav. So he's saying that it's taka the zanav because it's when you're like the kohanim are lining up and getting little bits of bread, and the first two kohanim are like, it's a kazayas, it's a davar choshev, and the third guy is like, it's not right that we're getting these crappy little pieces of bread. So he's calling it a zanav to say he didn't get a zanav of a lizard, he got a zanav. He got something which he holds is not choshev, so therefore he calls it a zanav as in rosh v'lo zanav, the top and not the tail. So he's getting like this is the kohanim are not getting the top, they're getting the crap. The honor zanav, the lizard tail kiyadua and the darko to be merfacheset. So when you cut off the head of a lizard, it jumps about, even though its head's gone near a koichi. It's like it's got a koach, but it's dead. So he's saying that the lechem upon him is looking like he got it, like it has some value, but it's dead. Achinami Amar Harasha is Shanira Lefi Hadimian. He's the way that he's explaining it, that it's his kavana, that it's that the kahuna is yakar and mitafe'eres ube'emes. So like the he's saying that it looks, the kahuna is something that looks like it's covered, but in reality it's a busha. And his nafsho davar ki efsha have shachos pasol v'lo yel roy be'emes nasa lo sam maves. So when you have so the Torah can be samachayim or samamaves, and if you use the Torah in the wrong way, it's not roy for you. Therefore, it'll be nasa lo sam maves. And since this person was not uplifted by the kahuna, kacholesik v'Torah v'mitzvah shelo karoi. So when you use the Torah and the mitzvahs not in a proper way, so therefore the Torah and the mitzvahs will bring you in a bad path. So it turned out that this guy was not really a Kohen, and and therefore he was acting this way. It was a Giloi because the Kahuna was a Samamavis for him because it wasn't Roy for him. Hahu Arama. So he's got this goy. To have a salik, he went up to Jerusalem. Ba'achel pesachim beYerushalayim. So there's a goy. He's eating the pesachim in Yerushalayim during Pesach. Amar Kasiv, the goy says, Kol ben nachar lo yachol bo. Every goy can't eat by it. Kol arel lo yachol bo, and the non-circumcised can't get from it. Va'ani, I eat from the best of the best. Amar le Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says to him, Mi ka safu lacha me'alea. Did they give to you from the fat tail? The fat tail is on the sheep, and it's not on the gedi. It's not on the goat. Amar le lo. He said, no, they never gave me from the fat tail. Ki salta lahasam, when he went up to there, Eimelahu safili me'alea, give me from the fat tail. The fat tail's the best bit. Now the fat tail goes on the mizbeach if it's a sheep. So Toises here, Afal Gav the Gedi Ein Aleso. He does hit Ein Aleso Kariva, that the Gedis, the Aliyah doesn't go on the Korban. Roiv Pesachim Mehaya Taleh. Most of the Psachim were Taleh, were sheep. And the sheep, Aliyah, the Fatel, does go up on the Mizbeach, even though the Gedi doesn't. Or Shema Hagidlo. Maybe he told him that it went up. Now, this is the beginning of the Toises, which we're going to look at again. This is the famous Toises. But seemingly, from Afal Gab to Law, it's all fairly simple. It's a simple kasha in the Gemara, which he gives to Druzim for. Nothing really so complicated there with Toises, which we'll need to come back to later. But so the Fatel goes up on the Mizbeach, and he says, "Give me Safu li me'aleya, ki amru li, so amru li ki salkalta lahas." And when you go up to there, Eimelahu, say to them, Safu li me'aleya, give me from the fatel, ki salek amru lehu me'aleya safu li, give me from the fatel. So he went up and he asked for it, even though it goes up on the mizbeach. Amru le aleya legavoa salka. They said to him, it goes up to Shemaim, it goes up on the Mizbeach. Amrulei man amrlach hachi. He said, who told you to ask for the fatel? Amr lahu Rebbe. He said to them, Rebbe Yehuda ben Beseira. Amru my high. What's going on here? The Kaman bodku basrei, that the guy in front of them, they checked into him. Ve'ashkechu to Amaraihu, and they saw that he was a goy. Ve'katluhu, and they killed him. This is the big machlokes here. Why are they killing him? The Minchas Chinuch brings that the Rambam holds that the Isser of eating the Korban Pesach is on the Jew that gave the goy the Korban Pesach. The goy has no isser to eat the Korban Pesach. The Jew has an isser to feed a goy the Korban Pesach, but the goy has no isser to eat the Korban Pesach. So then the Minchas Chinuch asks them, why are you killing him? He said because he's stealing from a gavoa, that once you shecht it, even if you hold that the kudshim are mom and baal, once you shecht it, for sure it's mom and gavoa, and therefore the goy was stealing from the Mizbeach, from God, and therefore they killed him. Or you could say that he went into the goy was metame, and he entered into the azara, and in the azara he was tame, so they killed him, because the goy can't get rid of his goy tame even in a mikveh, only a Jew can. Other pshatim you can look up. So Shachulei Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira Shalom Lacha. Peace be to you, Rebbe Yehuda ben Beseira, da'at ben Netzivin. Netzivin is in Chutz la Aretz, as Tosis says at the end. Mitzadecha prusa b'Yerushalayim, and your net is cast out to Yerushalayim. Now, seemingly, why does ben Beseira have to stay in Nitzavin and have his net spread out to Jerusalem? It is the Korban Pesach, so why did he not go to Jerusalem? Why did he not kill him himself? Why did he not just tell them about it? But it seems to be clear from the Gemara that his net is going out to Jerusalem, but he didn't go to Jerusalem himself. So Tosis asked the question, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira himself, Shalo ala leregel, that didn't go up to the regel. He didn't. Why did he not go up to the regel? He didn't go up to the regel because he was in Nitzavin and his net went up, but he didn't. So Tosis gives a few terutzim. Yesh loymar shalo hayelo karka. Tosfos, answer number 1. He's got no land. If you have no land, there's land in Eretz Yisrael. If you have no land in Eretz Yisrael, then you do not. You're not chayiv in the Korban Pesach if you don't own land in the land of Israel. Answer number 2. Or Zakan Haya, he was an old man. She'ena yachol lehalech b'reglo to Patur mi Pesach kamo mi re'iyah. So since he's an old man and he can't and he can't walk all the way there. Therefore, he's Patur from Pesach, just like he's Patur from Re'iyah. Now, the Re'iyah is the Korban Re'iyah, which you bring. You have to go up 3 times a year to the Shalosh Regalim, and you bring a Korban Re'iyah when you go to the Mikdash. So, it says, by Re'iyah, if you can't walk there, you're Patur from the Re'iyah, and Tosfos is learning the Pesach din like the Re'iyah. You have the Re'iyah Korban, and then we're learning to Pesach, the Pesach Korban. I think by the Korban Pesach, or it says Rechuka, like the Pasuk beforehand talks about owning land, or Re'iyah. So Tosfos has like a hekesh between the Pesach and the Korban Re'iyah, and therefore just like he's too far away to walk, or you can't walk. He says lehelech baraglov. I mean, why doesn't he just get in a car? But there is a second teretz that he's Patur from the Pesach from Re'iyah. Inami. We have a third teretz that nitzavim is in Chutz la Aretz, as it says in the Sifri, in Perach Ra. So therefore, in Chutz la Aretz, you're Patur from the Korban Pesach. Once you're in Chutz la Aretz, you're Patur. So therefore, we had three truths of Tosfos, v'od, v'targim Yerushalmi, v'arach v'ekad, v'kalmas ba'aretz Shinar, v'targim v'hadas v'nitzavim v'kasasi. So nitzavim is in the land of Shinar. So that's for sure in Chutz la Aretz. So Tosfos has 3 terutzim as to why Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira did not go to. He did not go to the Chag. He didn't bother with the whole Korban Pesach thing, or the Korban Re'iyah, or the whole thing. 3 reasons. Number 1, he didn't have karka in Eretz Yisrael. Number 2, he was an old man and he couldn't walk there. And number 3, he lived in Chutz la Aretz. And again, they're all mutually exclusive terutzim. So seemingly, most people then are just going to be Patur from, and also, I don't really know what it means to own land here. I mean, for a lot of the land is, do you have to own it in the eyes of the state of Israel? Does that even count? What the hell is that? What the hell is the state of Israel? Klape the Korban Pesach. How can the state of Israel give a nafkamina for the Korban Pesach? But maybe it does. Now the Gra here, he says that he asked a question on Tosfos and says that every Jew has like 4 amos in Eretz Yisrael. So how can Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira not have a chelek? So he brings a story from Sanhedrin where the people that Zechariah brought to back alive in the valley of bones. It's a machlokas in the Gemara. It's what do they do that they got up from the dead, they sang Shira, and then they died again. Or they got up, they went to Jerusalem, they married women, and they had a family. And then Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, Taka, our same man, he says, I am the grandchild of the people that were up in the valley of the bones that got resurrected, and here are my grandfather's tefillin. So Rabbi Wein has a nice take on the story, saying that like whenever there's a miracle or whenever there's an awakening, you have the Jews are in a slumber, and then there's an awakening. Like he was talking about 1968. And you can have whatever the wonderful things that happen, like Trump coming to power, or opening the gates of hell in Gaza. And when wonderful thing happen, then what happens? You take that wonderful, and then you just have a party, and then you go back asleep again. You go back dead. I was dead, now I'm alive, and now I'm dead again, like a week later. Or you take that thing that made you alive, and you build a family out of it. And he says, Taka, these are my grandfather's tefillin, because if you don't grab onto that mitzvah and keep it going through the generations, you always have that. Oh yeah, the grandfather was from, and now the grandchild is fry. So you have that. He's using his grandfather's tefillin because he's taking, when he has that awakening from the dead, then he continues it on. So he says that. So the Gra says here that Dafka Rebbe Yehuda ben Beseir didn't have a chelek in the karka because he was from those who died, and therefore he got the Yerusha from the So the people that died were from Ephraim, and the people from Ephraim they lost their chelek because they went out early from Egypt or something. So there he was one of them that didn't have a chilik, but everyone else did. But that's from the Gra. Now, there's this absolutely wonderful Mishnah למלך. So Mishnah למלך, it's on. He's on the page on the Rambam in Hilchos Korban Pesach, which is in Korbanos. So mitzvah saseh l'shkot Pesach. Everything that says in Parakam of Chagiga, the Patur from Re'iyah, and you bring Rabbeinu lekaman menachos Chagiga nearer the chayvim b'Korban Pesach. So his first point is Tosfos is connecting that you have the Re'iyah and then the Korban Pesach. It's all the same din. But here he says that even though you're Patur from the Chagiga, you're still chayiv in the Korban Pesach, because the muta of Hana in the Re'iyah Kativi, and we don't learn the Pesach from Re'iyah. So the miyat of people like you don't have karka and can't walk there, they're all written specifically by the Re'iyah, which again the Chagiga of the Korban you have to bring when you go to the Mikdash, the 3 regalim. We don't learn from Pesach. Therefore you're chayiv in Pesach. That's what the Rabbeinu will be, the Rambam. However, I saw in Tosfos that he says in the case of the Re, so this is the Adkan, that's he's quoting the Tosfos. Lo yadati ha hecha remiza dahani patri min Pesach. I don't know where this remez is that they're potter from the Korban Pesach. The Gemara doesn't potter the Zaken from the Pesach. Only when he doesn't, he's not able to eat a kazayas. So when a zaken can't eat a kazayas, there he's potter from the Korban Pesach. But where's it got to say that the zaken who can't walk? Tosfos says the zaken who can't walk, he's potter from the Korban Pesach. Lo yadati iya liba de Tosfos legamri alfinim Pesach Maria. So is Tosfos just learning completely the Pesach from Re'iyah? Ela dezeh lo yitaken. It's not possible that we can't do a complete learning from Pesach and Re'iyah, because women are potter from Re'iyah and they're chayav from Pesach. So I don't know where's Tosfos getting this limit from, Bechlal. And again, Tosfos says, at least the words here for the second one, mi Pesach kamor Re'iyah. And he says, so he's saying here, the Zaken that he's learning this in specifically, because it just says Karka or, he only brings the Pesach from Re'iyah in the middle case. You can say it's also like Karka, but he doesn't say it explicitly. So the Zaken, he says, there's no din of he's not able to walk. There's a din, he can't eat a kazayas. And where's he getting the rest of this from? The im Neymar, it's Davka that Tosfos is writing that we learn from Re'iyah. I don't know where he's getting this from. Where's his source? Furthermore, we see the Tosfos that he writes, Inami Nisavin is in Chutz la Aretz. I don't know, how does that help to say that it's in Chutz la Aretz? What difference does it make in Chutz la Aretz? Because if it's the Patur from the Pesach Rishon, anyone who's further than 15 mil is Patur from the Pesach Rishon. So once you're Derech Rechuka, you're far away from Jerusalem, there you're Patur. So that's 15 mil. So you can be anywhere in Israel and still be Patur from Pesach Rishon. Even from Pesach Sheni. So somebody who's 15 away is chayiv in Pesach Sheni. So maybe people in North Israel are chayiv in Pesach Sheni, but the guys in Chutz la Aretz are not. Where's he getting this from? Where's he getting this from? Even the mitzvahs re'iyah lo re'iti shepoter lemi shadar b'chutz la Aretz. Even the mitzvahs re'iyah. Where you potter from chutz la Aretz? And this is such a good soft davar to summarize everything we've said. Shedivrei Tosfos, the words of Tosfos, from the beginning until the end. From the beginning until the end, tzarichim etzli, by me, I need Talmud. I don't understand a word of what Tosfos is saying. From beginning till the end, I need to learn this more, because he just brought all his kashas, all his proofs, all his sources, and he's like, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. I don't get it. But this is a great soft davar. You know, someone's asking you a lot of questions, and you're really not. You're really on the back foot. I mean, here he's attacking Tosfos. He's just saying like, I don't know what's going on. But take this sentence out of context and say, yes, this Tosfos from beginning to end, I need to learn it better. Now, Metchilim ad sofam. I mean, the beginning I thought was quite simple, really. You know, because the beginning of the Tosfos is just saying that the Gedi doesn't have an Ali Kariv, just answering the. But so we're taking this thing. He says, I don't understand what's going on in this Tosfos. So the Tzalach Tosfos. Maalia. So Hine, Ein kavan. The Taisus is not. Is the kavanah Taisus is not. Somebody who doesn't have land is potter from Pesach. That's not what he's saying. But Pochazi, go out and see that the beginning of the kosher of the Taisus, it wasn't lo hayeh lehatkos lama lo Allah ben b'seir lasos Pesach. He didn't ask him why he's not going up to do the Pesach, because that's not a kosher. That's not the question. Devadai hayeh b'derech rechuka v'potter. For sure, he was outside the 15. He says potter. He's outside the 15 mil, and therefore he's potter. So therefore, we never had a question on the Korban Pesach. Now here is a very again, this is the Noida B'Yehuda, and again a huge waiting in Psak as an achron for the whole whatever in the Shulchan, like as a poisek, the Noida B'Yehuda is huge waiting as a Psak, and these words. I mean, are these words true? We don't find that you're chayiv to go up and to make yourself close to the Zman of Pesach. So then when it comes to Yodalit, he's b'derech rechuka. So if you have your, let's say you live 20 mil away from Jerusalem, do you have a chayiv to put yourself inside the 15 mil? Or you say, well, screw it, I'm 15 away, therefore I'm just potter from the Korban Pesach. So if you live in Haifa, are you just potter from the Korban Pesach? Or no, you got to go to Jerusalem on the 14th to machayiv yourself. So the Zman l'chayr is from the Chatzos on Yodalit. So Chatzos in Yodalit, should you, if you live in Haifa, should you put yourself in, go book a hotel. In Mashiach, there'll be plentiful Hilton hotels for everybody in the old city. And so you have to book yourself a room, or screw it. I live in Haifa, and we don't see that anyone is mechayiv to actually go before this man and mechayiv yourself in the mitzvah. So how does that work? When you have a mitzvah that you're currently potter from, should you, as it gets closer, or whatever, should you? So, for example, if you don't have a lulav and esrog, you're an oines and you're potter. So everyone's selling lulavs and esrogs, and you're like, I don't have a lulav and esrog. And obviously, if you're in a community, you might have to go get it because the guy beside you has it. But if you're in a place, you don't have a lulav and esrog, you're an oines, you're potter. So should you you've had 3 months to get a lulav and esrog. But Taka, am I chayiv to mechayiv myself? To put myself in a position where I'm not an oines? Or then once the chayiv chals, then I'm an oines. I don't have a lulav and esrog. You sit around all day. You sit around the whole of, you ever build a sukkah. And then a sukkah, I don't have a sukkah. I'm potter. I'm an oines. I'm potter. What do you want from me? Or do you take? I have to have the thing. So here the slach, the horse saying you've no chiyuv to mechayiv yourself in anything. Aval hukshel lehem. So Tosis had the question, Lama lo al regel. Why don't you go up to the regel? That's a mitzvah on all Israel to go up Ish Makomo to Jerusalem. That you have an aliyas le regel is taka leaving your house and going up there. Lahagiya sham beregel, to go there beregel. So what, you can't use a car. V'alzeh tir to them. Now answer, they said that he didn't have land, and he don't have land, he doesn't need to go up to the regel, as we learn out. So later it says someone who doesn't have land. The kevin shelo ala memela. And since he doesn't go up, Memela poter mi pesach kamo mi re'iyah. So since he doesn't go up for the re'iyah, therefore he's outside the 15 mil, and therefore he's poter like re'iyah. And now you saw the Mishnah Lamelech from the Korban Pesach, and he had this kesher tesulalo v'linisar nero kamosha kasabti. So he's saying the Mishnah Lamelech as well as all these questions, but it's poshut according to me, says the Tzalach. Now the Minchas Chinoch. This is 5:7. So he says, so he quotes here the Tzalach. The Tzalach here. The Tzalach, he quotes it and he says, V'divarav einim uvin liklal. I don't understand what he's talking about. The Vadai mitzvahs asay al kol Yisrael asod a Pesach. For sure, there's mitzvahs on all the Jews to do the Korban Pesach. Call mitzvahs asur sheba oilam. Like every mitzvah, you're mechuyev to do it. U'mechuyev leilech mikatzer ha'aretz lahakriv atzmo ketei l'kayim mitzvahs asay. You are mechuyev. It's a chiyuv to bring yourself inside the 15 amos. Ach im avor v'hu b'derech rechuka yesh dinim shetzitza ha'toira. But if b'di'eved you didn't make it inside the 15 taka, whatever happened, whatever you're working for Hatzalah, you have to run out and save somebody in Haifa. So therefore, if you didn't go in, so therefore you're aber bevadai mechuyev lehifkrav. He's breathing himself. Vadai mechuyev lekayem mitzvase. So there we have the this basic machlokas as to whether you have to mechayev yourself in a mitzvah. And he's saying davar pasha. They're not saying the Noidi Behuda is saying we don't see anywhere. We don't see anywhere that says you have to do it. We're here l'chayir the Minchas Chinoch is a svar pashuta. Vada you're chayiv. What are you talking about? You don't have to build a sukkah. What are you talking about? You don't have to get a lot of an esrog. They're right there. Yeah, for 2 weeks they're selling them outside your front door. You just didn't buy one. Now you're Patur. No, it's a pot. This svar pashuta. We let Rav Kol Yisrael, if you bears Yisrael Kol Shehem Rechuka Tesod Mil Yerushalayim Shezed Der Rechuka Patur Melech Lasus Pesachim Kain Kol Yisrael Paturim Lasus Pesach Rishon Pesach Sheni. So they won't be makrivim because Roy V'Tzibor Ein Oisim Pesach Sheni. So so my cloak is there in the we'll just so in this toy. So this is the Tosfos that again there's 3 reasons why you're Patur from Korban Pesach. In the Slach who says they're not saying this at all. Again, where we said it was the pshat in the Pash pshat in the Tosfos. 3 reasons why you're Patur from the Korban Pesach. I'm thinking this is like the Yusoid and the Makor for these dinim is this Tosfos. And again, the Maklokus and that come out of it. So we'll just finish off with this last story. Rav Kahana Chalash. He was sick. Shudru Rabbanan le Rebbe Yeshua Berea the Ravidi. They sent him in. Amru le Zil Bodo go see if he's okay or not. My dine ata ashkeche denach nafshe. He saw that he was. He went into Rav Kahana and he saw that he was nifter. He ripped his clothing and he returned the clothing to the back. So because if the rip is in the front, so it's too much agmas nefesh. They did this for Rebbe as well. So you put it in the back so he doesn't see that it's on the front. And he cried and he continued crying. They said to him, "Did he die?" And he said to them, "I'm not saying that." So again, this is the idea of lashon naki. You don't say out straight. Umutzi diba hu kasil, and somebody who speaks out the matter is a fool. Yochanan hakuka. Here he says Meir. He's from this city. He went to his to the fields, and when he came back to the city, they said to him, "Is the wheat nice?" So he went out to the fields. He come back into the city, and they asked him, "How's the wheat developed?" He said to them, "The barley is done nice. The barley came out nicely." They said back to him, "Go and tell the horses and the donkeys, because it says that the barley and the teven and the straw is for the horses, and for the horse. These are fast horses." So what should he have said? So here he's l'chayr saying this lashon naki. What should he have said? Last year the chitim was yafos. Or Ninami Adashim Nasu Yafos, or maybe the lentils were done nice. So here everyone's taking the piss out of him and saying, "Oh yeah, go tell thee." Like what really did he do wrong here? Now when he says that the barley is done nice, he is saying that the wheat is bad, because wheat is food for man, and barley is food for animals. So when they asked him on food for man, he replied to them on food for animals, meaning the food for animals is good and the food for man is bad. That means that the chitin is bad. So he didn't gain anything. He's not using lashon naki. He is just telling them it's bad. But yeah, so well, go tell the animals because you haven't done anything. So he should have said that the chitin was good last year. Last year the chitin was good. because it doesn't necessarily. Maybe it's good this year as well. But it's mashma, you can take from it that this year isn't so good. But they asked him on human food, and he answered them on human food. So, but maybe there's the lashon naki that he didn't say it's bad, because it could be that it is good, even because he's still talking about the animal foods. Or else he could have said that the adashim, the lentils, that's only human food, really, if you don't have the wheat. So when you say, the lentils are good, it's still human food. Even if the wheat is bad, you'll eat it. Not so much if the wheat is good, but still maybe if the lentils are so good, and the wheat is good, the lentils are so good, a man will still eat it. So here again, the kind of Kanech here is that just by saying that the Se'orim are Yafos, you haven't done anything, because it's for sure that the wheat is bad. That's what he's saying there. But so then how should he have said it? That this way that he's still talking about the same Indian in which he's saying, and he's saying that the good thing there.